to investigate.
Alright, let's disarm that first before someone steps into it. Looks like a pretty big area to explore.
Intriguing.
Let's grab the goods first. Please don't walk on this, anyone. Alright, Pascal. Send you around. And oh dear. Just saw that giant crowd. Cabalites, witches, Hecatrix? Is that a name or is that a rank? Part of me thinks that was a name and we've met them before, because it sounds familiar.
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
In front of you is part of a xenos device that controls the traps in this deadly place. So we can't... Oh, we can disarm it. Perfect.
Specs has detected something.
Can you disarm this? Nope. Okay. So this is what combat looks like. Where it is grid-based. We're going to leave Pascal in the front so he can disarm this trap. But no one else can go through there until that's been disarmed. Put some of my ranged characters in cover. I'll just go half cover there. Put Irliet in full cover here. You're here for this? Cool. Yeah, combat in this game is great. So I hope you enjoy it. And Ulfar, you'll see he takes up a 2x2 as opposed to all the others. I guess we'll throw him just up front here. Why not? I think that's everyone in place. So I have built my main character, Ignatius here, to be extremely overpowered. So he just ends fights really fast. So what you see here is not how I think the game was intended for fights to go. And I apologize that you're not going to see a very back and forth difficult fight going on. So first we light ourselves on fire because it makes our psychic abilities stronger. And then I orchestrate flames to make sure that the fire stays on myself. Let's do run and gun so I get more attack actions. Can I hit multiple of them with single melta? There's a couple that I can hit 2 of. So yeah, you have the most health. Everyone else seems to be killed in a single melta. Can't tell on you, but yeah. We'll take out these 2.
Nothing I can't do. None shall survive.
There we go. And our turn. It's back to Cassia, because she just gave us a free turn.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
So that gives us high momentum. I'll use a couple of her abilities to boost Ignatius even farther.
Resist, Lord Captain. If I may.
Now her ability that she can use with high momentum is to give a free full turn with all of our action points and no longer limited to just a single attack in an action. So it's a rare ability that we can only use once per combat, but Ignatius takes it to the fullest.
I'll paint your death in colors.
So he gets this free extra turn again. So we can then go for another person that we can melt it to. I guess not. We killed 3 of them already. So I can kill several of them with just the basic ignite. So we'll start there. I could light her on fire to get her to start burning. Might save that. We're back to high momentum again. Because we've killed enough. There's only 3 of them left that I'm seeing here, but there's a lot on the battle map. Where are all the other enemies that we're in combat with? Ah, behind us. I didn't even realize that we had enemies behind us. That's awkward. Can I not see them from where I am? I guess not. You all have very little health. Another Hackatrix. And some more witches. I'm inclined to move over here so that I can hit them. Yeah, that hits 3 of them. So let's go there. Then we'll melt a you 2.
Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
Let's melt a you. Didn't quite die. That is a shame.
You didn't stand a chance. Nothing I can't do. Opposing.
All right, so that's all of them dealt with in a single turn. I can no longer reach them because I've moved too far away.
Suits my purposes.
We can run and gun then to move forward. Let's just step forward and see what I can do. I'm not really worried about either of you. I don't think, because you've got, 97 health each. Yeah, I've sort of broken the game with an overpowered build. So you're not getting a accurate view of how combat's supposed to play out.
Nothing I can't do.
And then we'll use our heroic act to give us another action. And take out her.
Already done.
And we got another free action because we've got a build that occasionally lets us get free actions. So let's take out you. We're back to high momentum again. And I think that is where I have to actually end my turn. That was just a free turn that Cassia gave us. So it's still Cassia's turn, who was the first turn of this battle. So what can she do now to end this fight? On the first turn of combat. If I put you way up there. Okay, she can't get him with her third eye. She could pull him forward.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Perfect. Then use her third eye.
I am a navigator, not a servant. As duty demands.
And there we go. Combat ended on the first turn. The first turn of combat. Cassia was the only one who had a turn. And we won. That's not how the game is intended, but it amuses me to do it, so yeah.
Operation successful.
Psykers can become very powerful in this game, particularly Pyromancer Psykers, and I've just built all into that. And it's nuts. It's now a level up time, and leveling up takes ages because there are just so many options. Difficulty, I probably should level up the difficulty. I think I'm on normal, and perhaps I should increase it, but the rest of the party isn't that broken. It's just really only my character. So we could choose another branch of psyker abilities. Next, ranged area attack made by the soldier deals 100% damage and has an additional 20% dodge. Soldier immediately dashes in a selected direction, spending all their movement points, does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Can dash through allies and enemies. Maybe. Ultimately, none of these matter because we don't ever use we don't use our gun. So our soldier abilities that are all about how we use our gun just don't matter anymore. Most common after psykers is heavy gun or Argenta. Yeah, I used Argenta for a while, but she was okay with a sniper rifle. Her bolter I just never felt was that impressive. And so eventually I just stopped using her because she wasn't keeping up with the damage of the rest of the party. And I'm sure part of it is that I didn't make a great build for her. I mean, I could go into a different direction. Sanctic feels okay. Protect allies, smite heretics. Might be able to do something with that. I just can't picture myself actually using abilities to buff my allies rather than just hit things harder. I'll just take dash. Theoretically, I might find a purpose to use that at some point. And then skills, we're going to go with lore warp because it's the only skill we're really focusing on. Earliat, you get a skill as a operative, right? Damage dealt by intimidated enemies is reduced. Joint analysis has some value. I'll go joint analysis. And then for you, you've got Lord Xenos as a decent skill, but awareness and demolition are your best. Probably demolition. I don't have anyone else that's focusing on that. We've got a few people with good awareness. Alright, you are also an operative. Precise attack, I think, only matters for ranged attacks. It doesn't specify, but it is talking about cover. Same with perfect spot. So I guess for you, I'll give you intimidation. And you have a lot of skills that are good. Looks like of the ones I'm having you focus on, Medicae is your lowest. So let's boost that. All allies affected by Word of the Emperor gain the Hammer of the Emperor for effect. Next time they deal damage, damage is increased by 22 and then the effect is removed. That's powerful. So everyone in the party effectively will get, after he uses his Word of the Emperor, will gain a plus 22 on their first attack. Or group heal. Both of those have value. Could I give him another? So I can just give him all 5? I thought you could max out on 2 of the psyker disciplines. Huh. Until the end of combat, all targets within the area suffer a penalty to strength and agility. Interesting, not critical. I can give extra turns to people. Oh, every action the target makes during this extra turn also triggers this damage. I mean, that's super tempting, though, because we could use that to give Ignatius even more extra free turns. I'll mark it with a star. Okay, slash twice in a turn. That's interesting. Taunting Scream could also be good. It is a reasonable area that it seems to cover. I don't know. Metabolic Overcharge could give Ignatius a few more attacks. Well, no, it doesn't say that it overcomes the 1 attack per turn. There's nothing about that. So I'd get 1 extra attack. I'm going to go with Hammer of the Emperor. I think that's the safer bet because it helps everyone. And he doesn't have any really great skills, unfortunately. Athletics and Carouse, I think, are the ones that he's the best at. Oh no, I forgot we have Ulfar now. I'm sure Ulfar is better at both of those. Yeah. Are there any skills that no one's working on out of our current party group? My guess is no. Yeah, we've got over 100 in everything. So it's like, what do I want you to focus on? I guess I'm going to go with athletics because we don't always have Ulfar with us. And athletics gets used reasonably often. Giving an ally the ability to ignore cover is good. And potentially ignore dodge. Huh. I like Held in My Gaze, which I'm sure is why I marked it with a star earlier. Decreasing Veil Degradation could be powerful because Ignatius, on crazy turns, does bring up the Veil Degradation pretty high. Probably not something I need to have rushed towards, but something I want to grab at some point. So she can just let someone charge? That doesn't seem that powerful. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Held in My Gaze. Yeah. And then skills for her. She has a ton of skills that she's working on. But I think awareness is her lowest of the skills she's focusing on, so we'll raise that one. And lastly, Ulfar. cool. That's definitely a maybe. I don't care overly much about dash. And you can't actually use cover. So entrench doesn't help you. Concentrated fire. And then skill-wise, you are athletics, carouse, and that is it. We'll boost your carouse because your athletics is already much higher. Alright, that didn't take too long. Is that the gun we already got? Yes, we already have 2 Dark Lances. We probably don't need a third. So we'll just send all those to cargo. The bizarre steel. I've seen the word. I don't know if I've ever heard the word pronounced. Amidst a subtle humming sound. As you listen, you feel your head is about to tear apart in unbearable agony, as if the sound is resonating with something in your mind. I guess let's look at difficulty settings. I haven't checked it in ages. Where would it be? Oh, probably the thing called difficulty. So yeah, I'm on normal difficulty. We could raise it to daring. What does that change? So on normal, enemies have a -10 to their dodge. This puts it back to normal. We are currently gaining 20% more momentum. Oh, I do like the more momentum. We probably won't get the ability to use Cassia's thing at the very start of combat, making combats actually take a whole turn. That would be such a shame. Minimum damage dealt to enemies after reduction is 2 for us. This brings it to 0. Minimum damage dealt to enemies after reduction is 20%. Changes it to 0. NPC characteristic modifier, they currently have a -20%. Daring brings it to 0. Looks like everything... I was going to say everything zeros, but that's not true. Down here... Okay, max duration for hard crowd control effects on party members is 2 versus unlimited. Skill test difficulty modifier changes from 30 to 20%. Enemy wounds stays. Damage dealt to player's party after subtracting is -30 versus 0. Do I want to try this? I'll give it a shot. If I hate it, we can change it back. But we can try daring and see how it goes.
Stop.
Combat is a touch on the easy side. So, yeah.
God grants me insight.
We'll hold off on the stairs.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
My warp sight reveals something.
More grenades. Let's disable that trap.
Operation successful.
Nothing else
We
around.
killed the arena's most revered warriors. They should fear us now. So, why do I feel crimson bloodlust closing in around us?
Let them come to us. It will save us from having to hunt these cowardly wretches in their dark dens.
Yeah.
My success is
Ultimately, they like bloodshed, so even though we've proven ourselves to be capable, they're going to continue chasing us down anyway. The elevator is controlled by an unknown mechanism that the human mind seems unable to comprehend. Is this where I came in? No, this is the backside.
Follow my
Let
lead.
us see what I found.
this explorator is blessed.
None are better at searching.
Functionality
Um,
ready for data input.
Whoa, guys. I thought moving would have stopped them, but I guess not. We're good. They didn't blow themselves up. Blood Drinker's staff is a biomancy staff, so it doesn't help us. There are no pyromancy staffs as far as I can tell. Venom Chainmail. It's medium armor, huge dodge penalty. Where it gains +4 damage against enemies that have no adjacent allies. Only applies to the first strike or projectile in a burst attack. Also, dash and charge abilities are increased by 1. Grants the wearer +10% parry and +10% area attack damage. Meh. Don't really care about any of that. Another set of stairs up. Oh, and we are blocked off from this side. Well, that's tedious. So that's the gate, I'm sure. We could walk all the way around, but going through here is faster. But I'm sure there's going to be some event that occurs if we try it. Can we just walk past you? Okay. Let's just walk past you guys for now. Hey, it's Tervantias. This is where you moved to. Okay. Well, hopefully he'll be generally friendly towards us. But he may be super pissed at us and try and kill us. But I want to collect the rest of my loot.
Keep a sharp eye.
Operation successful.
Collect all.
Watch your steps.
Pascal, you get that for us.
This explorator is blessed
And
with
this.
functionality. The machine gun grants me insight.
There are faintly visible field lines on the smooth surface. Probably some sort of power system. Nothing else around? Okay. So we have now finished the looting.
It's about time.
Let's talk to the guard. Tervantias wants to talk. Go. Tervantias wants to talk. Go. Wow, you guys are not very talkative. Alright, Tervantias. The homunculus looks up from the control panel and gazes at you with disdain from the other side of the impenetrable force screen. You survived, specimen. What a woeful lack of ability to follow orders. You were supposed to die, be it in the arena or in the chasm. However, the servants of Izaresh will soon remedy your blunder. Hello, Tervantias. I've not missed you either. Attack at last. A chance to get rid of you, inhuman miscreant. Yeah, I've not missed you either. Specimen, as you might have noticed, the homunculus's limbs simultaneously gesture at the massive construct supporting the force field around him. This version of the stifler blocks both the energy and bleeds in from beyond the veil, and any physical attempts to intrude inside its range. Your attempt at conversing is pointless. Simply continue on the way to your demise, and do not disturb me. Wolfer's voice turns quiet and insinuating, and a smile plays on his lips. Yes, you are safe for now. But as soon as you step out from behind this field, who knows in what shadowy corner will catch you. Any step outside could mean your death. Then again, perhaps you will not come out. You might sit here for a day or two, a month, a year, forever. Sitting and trembling, a small, frail inhuman, trapped in a prison of his own toys and fear. Which of us is in a cage now? Tervantias' face stiffens into a mask of contempt, but his working limbs begin to twitch nervously, and his chest heaves with a mechanical creak as if he is suddenly running out of air. Elentok, though your heart may abound with anger, Elliot looks around, the immeasurable torment of powerful farseers pervades this spire. If you were to risk destroying this construct, it could cause an irreparable tear in the Vale of Komora. I mean, that sounds good to me. Heinrich laughs, but his laughter sounds morbid and disturbing. What's this? A chance to open a warp breach in the heart of our enemy's bastion. I did not expect anything in this damn place to put a smile on my face. I was wrong. Is that approval? How strange. Next to this construct, my soul is both naked and swaddled at the same time. The colors around me melt away, and so do my powers. Let's examine the construct. Lord Xenos for the -30. We've still got 90% chance. The Stifler is enormous and resembles the devices you have seen before. There is no doubt that its purpose is to suppress warp manifestations. However, you notice a few details that are out of step with the construct's otherwise typical Drukhari design. Several of its parts were made from material foreign to Gamora and fused into its frame by an unknown force. What happens if I destroy this construct, I wonder? Why are you hiding behind a force field, Tervantias? Are you afraid of me? The fact that he's hiding behind a field that specifically disrupts warp abilities when the leader of this group is a psyker. Obviously, this is how it would play out regardless of what I was playing as. But it feels more fitting as a psyker, like he's intentionally trying to stop just me. While I'm here, do you happen to have any special equipment reserves left? Or iconoclast, leave the Stifler intact. Until our next meeting, Tervantias, it will be your last. Stifler, yeah. What happens if I destroy this construct, I wonder? Then you will give thousands of souls to Silanthresh, Elentok. You will wound one enemy to empower another. She who thirsts is done feasting in Gamora. Once she who thirsts is done feasting in Gamora, she will surely sink her claws into your world as well, because nothing can sate her hunger. The Xenos narrows his eyes at you and hisses. You must be thinking that the moment you do it, Gamora will descend into demonic mayhem, and the valorous rogue trader will have rid the universe of the abominable Drukhari and finally flee these dark halls. Before all that happens, specimen, the demons that will arrive will rip your flesh to shreds and devour everyone in sight. And while you are busy writhing in agony, I will have enough time to put everything back in order. You do not seem to share your kind's fear of the warp in the slightest. Does that make you mad or simply arrogant? Dogmatic is to break the construct. I think I'll try anyway. Heretical is also to break the construct. I shall take the risk. The prospect of seeing you shriek in terror is just too tempting. Or leave the contract intact, which we saw already was the iconoclast direction. I see I have other questions to ask. You don't seem to share your kind's fear of the warp in the slightest. Does that make you mad or simply arrogant? The Xenos responds with a self-satisfied chuckle. Fear is the reaction of a weak mind presented with the inconceivable. Even our masters are liable to it. Oh, the pains it took me to convince the Archon to bring the Spirit Warriors into the Dark City, and to then conceal the evidence of the dimensional collapse that had destabilized the Spire. This was your doing? He was the one who convinced the Archons to bring the Farseers here, causing destabilization. And he was the one who was covering it up. Why? I alone acted without fear. I delve deeper as a scalpel delves into flesh. I have designed devices that stifle the breath of the unreal. I am creating a weapon that will make the warp itself tremble. And I am using the raging powers of suns as sustenance for my weapon. I know no fear, for in my mind there is no inconceivable, only the unconceived. He's the one who's stealing the suns. You said you were using the power of suns. Does that mean you are the one responsible for the disappearing stars? Yeah. Of course, my masterpiece needed an unthinkable amount of energy, but how could I let something as trifling as the unthinkable stand in my way? The star you call Rykad was stolen at my behest, as were many before it. Yep, you get to die. Durante's gloating tone becomes insufferable. Have you been to the world you monkey known as Santiel's Pride? I only recently took its son while you were busy spilling witch guts on the arena floor. It was most amusing to watch your pathetic planet freeze to its very core. How fascinating it is that such a paltry sacrifice as the lives of several million Monkey can serve something as great as my masterpiece. I don't know. I don't remember Santiel's Pride, so I don't know if we've been there or not. But presumably it is somewhere in the Expanse. And we went to everywhere we could, but this could be a world that belonged to one of the other rogue traders outside of our area we could travel in the previous chapters. Break the contract. I think I shall try anyway. God Emperor will protect us. Your shot finds its mark. Lightning charges run down the construct, and the force field flickers a few times before dissipating. The heavy metallic hum is followed by a series of dull pops coming from every direction, and you see warp portals bursting into bloom around you, one after another, and horrific malformed claws reaching towards you from the other side. What have you done? A curse upon you, monkey! 30 dogmatic, that's not nothing. Do we get to kill you now?
Smite the xenos!
We do. Alright, so we've got 4 homunculus guards and Tervantias. And that's it so far. I would bet that as the fight goes on, demons are going to pop out of these portals. We don't really have good cover positions, sadly.
I'm still new to the art of exploring.
Yeah, just no cover positions at all. We're just going to pull back a bit. So, long term, I think we need to get to, or at least it wouldn't surprise me if we need to get to the other elevator, the one that was blocked off before. One side of this place. Yeah, that's where we came in. There's another elevator here we didn't use. And there's a loot. Hello. I missed. Is that loot? Looks like it should be up. Yeah, right here. Huh. Well, that's disappointing. I'm sure we'll get to it later. You also have no cover. Alright, and then the rest of you. Pascal, you can go there. Heinrichs, you can stay here and take on that guy. And Ulfar, we'll put you up front. Here-ish, I guess. Start the battle. We will actually use zones, I think, in this case. Because I doubt they're going to be able to move terribly far.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Let her have her dodge bonus.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
And then crit bonus on us. Seems reasonable.
If you insist, Lord Captain.
Something like that.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
All too easy.
So yeah, we'll see how the higher difficulty goes in this fight.
Nothing I can't do. Not a problem for me.
I think I might just start by lighting you on fire. Because we can't take out anyone.
Nothing I can't do.
Yeah. Then let's go with... So that's a single target attack. 0 AP though. Alright, well let's give a boost to Ignatius.
If you insist, Lord Captain.
More
I'm
boosts.
not accustomed to being ordered around.
Then does this give me enough momentum to actually get our... It doesn't. Oh. It's barely shy on this difficulty. That is cruel. Let's go kill zone stratagem there. So we're gonna have to actually do this the normal way. That is a shame. don't think I want to do lidless stare. Could do something like this. Force the enemies to move closer. Maybe take attacks of opportunity. I'll accept that. I don't like that you're right next to Ignatius. That's not ideal. Ah, that gave us the momentum. Perfect, perfect, perfect.
I'll show you why navigators are feared.
Alright. I think I have the upgrade that allows me to use psychic powers while I'm in melee. Oh, that's not ideal. My allies are all in the way. So if I try and hit 2 of them, I'm going to hit my allies instead. Huh. Didn't consider that when I surrounded all the enemies. I do want to take out Tervantias. I think that is a smart starting point.
My tactics are flawless. Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
Perfect. Let's take you out because you're too close to Cassie and that makes me uncomfortable.
Suits my purposes. You didn't stand a chance.
Perfect. High momentum's back.
All too easy.
Okay, we have gotten to Veil Degradation. Not good. Give us a free attack. Is there a reason I never used the Spirally Fire skill? When I used to ignite enemies all the time, then it felt pretty good. But as it is, mine is 8 AP. Hang on. Okay. That must just be because of the ability I just used. But yeah, it does double the damage of Ignite. I think it normally costs like 2 AP. Oh, I guess I never considered it. I know it does more damage based on how many enemies are burning, and I never really have enemies burning since I started using Melta all the time. But if it is the same AP, then Melta is theoretically better. Yeah, Melta is better if there's a line. Has the warp burn. Melta's got some good things going for it. This one, I don't know. So 184 to 317 versus if I melted, same. Melta would lower their armor in case someone else has to attack afterwards. This one should do additional damage because I'm burning. Half the fire damage of all burning creatures within line of sight of the target. I should be within line of sight of both of those targets. Oh, I guess I'm only taking 1 burning. So they'd take half of 1 damage. I guess that's fair. Well, we'll try it. I never use this ability.
Nothing I can't do.
I guess part of the reason I don't use it is because I got it much later than I had Melta. Sadly, you didn't die. Does Firestorm hit your buddy? It would. And Ulfar. Except we can't target him. Is he out of line of sight somehow? Oh, I didn't light him on fire. Duh. Yeah. So do I kill you or do I do a lot of damage to you? I suspect I can't run and gun again. I cannot. I can. Oh, so we've got 2 more attacks this turn. Or 1 more good attack. So we could go with this again. Incinerate. Or Melta. They're the same damage. Same AP cost. I'll go with this one again. I don't use it much, so I might as well. Okay, that one actually killed it. So, all the enemies are down except for 1 guy that's left at 10 health. Cassia, can you just finish him off for me?
If you insist, Lord Captain, try to die with grace at least.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't think the higher difficulty has inconvenienced me overly much. It did make it harder for Cassie to get off her ability first turn. But that's it. This takes strength 60. Yikes. And it does so terrible. 4 to 7 damage. I guess rate of fire 11. But if you're going against an enemy that has any sort of armor or deflection, I think they call it, this is just worthless. And we certainly don't need 4 of them. I'll take 1. Just in case I decide later on I want to use it. And there was nothing to loot off of Tervantias? Okay. And yeah, no demons, so... where to now? We did get journal updates. The key to the webway gate was found. Violet knows how to open the webway gate, but she needs a special key. Yeah. So we need to find the webway gate. Make sure that the Farseer survives. Talk to Irlate aboard the void ship. Perfect. Then Marjai wants to pick up a prized possession. Okay. I'm going to head back up to the north under the assumption that this elevator is where I'm wanting to be. But I don't know if that's the case. But yeah, the door was closed last time we came by here. And now it's not, which makes me feel like this is where I want to be.